schools. And when you're talking to children, especially primary school children, you really got to grab their attention and keep it. And so I tried to do creative things like use puppets, and they really like that. But the one that I want to show you today is actually using a set of Jenga bricks, and I call it Easter Jenga. So here we go. And it's all about Jesus. And you know, when Jesus was on this land in Israel 2,000 years ago, he was a fantastic person. He was actually, just think about the best teacher that you've ever had, and he was even better than that. His teaching was so good. And he was like, in all the things that he did, he was a kind of superhero. He was like this tower of goodness, of all the good things that he did. And for example, he would heal people, and there are people who were separated from their families because of something like leprosy, and he enabled them to be reunited, and people who were blind who could see, and deaf who could now hear because of Jesus. So this tower of goodness. And he also had a lot of compassion for the poor people, for those on the extreme edges of society. That's something that's quite remarkable, because he didn't seek any fame or celebrity, or he didn't seek money. He just went for all those people who need this tower of goodness. And some of the people were bullies. They were kind of, we know what's right, and if you don't know what we think is right. And he was actually very good at confronting them and putting them in the place and giving them a sense of humanity, this tower of great goodness. And he had power over nature. So, something that I would really have loved to have been there. I would have loved to have been at the wedding of Cana where he made that wine. I bet it was red wine as well. The best wine that there was. This tower of brilliance and goodness, who even had the power over nature to calm storms and change water into wine. And he did this without any concern for himself. And he made sure that those who were exploited and cheated, who were taken advantage of by the rich, were cared for and looked after. And so this tower of goodness was an example to everybody of what God was like. But those people who were antagonised by him and criticised by him didn't like it. And they would say things like, what are you doing preaching? Only us have the qualifications or the ability to teach, and we're the ones who know the truth, not you. And so they planned how they could actually get rid of him. And they found him one night, and they captured him, and they took him, and they had him killed, and this whole tower of goodness was smashed. And they put him in a grave. They buried him, all that teaching, all that goodness gone. And the people who loved him thought that that was the end of all the goodness that Jesus was. The tower was destroyed by the people who were hateful, the people who were jealous, the people who couldn't see what great goodness Jesus did. And there he was, buried and sealed in a grave. And after 3 days, some women went there to find Jesus and to tend to his body and deal with him with love. And they found that the grave was open. And when they looked, it was empty, because Jesus had come alive again. That tower of goodness was all there. But now, that tower of goodness was indestructible. God had brought him back from the dead and rebuilt that tower, and now that can never be knocked down. How about that? That's really great news. Amen.